What's going on, people? Here's Image Magazine right here. Got an interview going on with rapper, Christian hip hop rapper, Mark. Was it Mark B?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mark B. I was getting ready to say Mark Q, because you got that Q in your name.
Yeah, you gotta be different. You gotta be different.
Most def, most def. Well, definitely, man. It's a pleasure for me to talk to you. I love to talk to any Christian representative out there. Um,
Pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you, thank you. I was looking at like one of your videos on YouTube, and what was it called? It was funny. I think it was something about ab libs, one on one, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a clown, man. I
so, so was that just joking, or you really had never done ad libs before?
I mean, I've done ad libs, but I'm not really good at them. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you listen to my music, you're not gonna find too many ad libs. And if you do, you'll be like, I'm not no Gucci man. I'm fucking ad libs. Like my ad lib is not gonna keep you listening to the song, you know. But it was it was one of those things where like, okay, I'm trying to hype the song up. We're gonna see what we come up with.
I got you. I got you. Well, how long have you actually been doing music?
Uh, Writing since I was like 7, and as far as recording, I went to the first studio when I was 14, but I started taking it serious at 17, and then started actually using my gift for God. I think just around, well, I started in the church at 15, but then I started making secular music at 17. Then I came back at 20.
Wow. So you definitely started then at a young age, and so you said you started when you was, I guess, 20. How old are you now?
I just 21 in August actually.
All right, so you just recently started doing music for Christ. How was that transition for you? What made you want to start doing music for Christ?
It was really, um, like I said, being raised in the church. So knowing, I'd always been a person where I could, have that church conversation with you and, you know, do that whole scenario. But it was just I had to go through that real wilderness experience. I'm kind of a hard head, so I couldn't learn from somebody else's experiences. I had to learn through my own. And it was just one night as I was out, on my own. God really came and spoke to me on my bedroom floor, and I really decided to, give my life up to God that night. Um, and that's really, I like to make a long story short. It was like one night, like 3 in the morning. I just, was going through some things. I was really triggered. It was a pastor came and talked to me, and he told me, I was with a girl at the time, and I really thought she might be the one or whatever. And the man goes, she's not the one. We had been going through things, whatever, and that was kind of out of nowhere. So that was the time like we really got somebody talking. So for a couple month period of time, this was really seeking God, seeing what He had to say about the thing, and it was one night on my bed. God just said, if you really want to hear from me, go out, there's bench outside of my and you'll open up your Bible. I didn't even remember how to Bible at that time, but my parents had got me a Bible like 2 years early for a birthday when I moved out. And I found that Bible and I forgot it was even there, and I opened it up and I just, I actually ended up reading all Proverbs that whole night. So that's kind of, how it happened. There was other times when, my whole thing was I always felt like, man, I want to make a bill to be able to come and, pay some tithes on that and give it back to the church. That was always my biggest thing. Even when I started doing Christian rap, I was like, I just feel like in the past, I felt like, what was the purpose of me doing something if nobody was here?
Hmm.
And so I was like, hey, I might as well make music that people are gonna, hear. And that was me, being at that time, really against what I was even doing. So it really took God to get that heart change. And, that happened about 1920. Like, because we all go through that process, but when it really happens, But I really sat down and said, okay, I'm giving it all up. I'm giving God my gift. Was that it was that night. I think it was a couple months after a couple weeks after my 20th birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's a good story. That's a powerful story, man. Like that's a testimony that definitely the world should hear. The Lord, He'll take you through some things sometimes, and if you always have a question, of course, we can always go to the Bible. That's our playbook. And for you to go in Proverbs is an awesome book. That's the book of wisdom right there. So it gives you direction whenever you lost. So that's powerful, man. And let me just ask you this: with you being a young person, you being in your 20s, and uh, how is it? I know a lot of young people struggle in different areas. I'm not sure if you're in school and college or what your surroundings is, but a lot of young people deal with different temptation. I know you was mentioning being with a female, just the whole environment, a lot of the clubs and the smoking and alcohol and things of that nature. Have you been surrounded in those kind of environments? Have you been tempted from your friends or family members or people just around you? How have you handled situations like
Man,
that?
I was real ratchet. So like, as being like that sheep, the wild child, I really said, I'm gonna give this up. You know, People encouraged me. My prayer, God sent me friends who were gonna help me do better, and God really placed that network around me of believers, of strong believers. Um, it was kind of like a motivation, because I didn't come as I'm still a babe in Christ, but it was like God had me around people who have been walking strong for, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, long periods of time. God just threw me right back into the mix of it. Um, so that was, one area where it was, easier for me. Then also just the fact that I didn't like. I'm not gonna say I don't struggle because I feel I'm always struggle. My struggles will be different as I mature. Um, as I am young, there's certain things I do struggle with, but it's really you know, it's simple things sometimes for me now. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, being single is kind of hard, and then knowing what God has said that He wants me to be, where God has said I'm supposed to go with my ministry. Just sometimes that's hard for me to feel like where God has for me to go. I don't know there being single, knowing how the industry is,
Hmm.
regardless of it's secular or Christian, it's still the entertainment industry, you know. Um, so that's sometimes hard for me, but really as far as friends, it's been I've had encouragement really. God really answered that prayer. He did it swiftly too. And He really just put strong people around me to keep me encouraged, to help me keep growing. Um, but as far as struggles, like I said, right now the hardest thing for me is you know being patient. Patiently with while is kind of difficult. I can't lie, just because I'm not used to not talking to females at all, and so that's kind of the difficult part for me. Is now usually when I get bored or something, I just hit up a couple females and that's what I do.
Uh-huh.
Now it's alright. I'm not really gonna kick it with no females like I used to. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with kicking it with females. It's just the limited amount of access and time I do chill with them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's one of the struggles for me. Is just like, man. Then like you can hear it in some of my songs, even mixtape that I just dropped, where it seems like a lot of times it would seem like to me where, man, what am I missing, God? And then sometimes I look at it like, man, do females really know what a good man is anymore nowadays? And then sometimes for me it seems like the ones that I should want, I don't want, or the ones that do want me, I don't want. So it's that's the weird part for me, where I feel like I'm picky, even though I feel like I'm not a picky person.
Hmm.
I was like, God, you really gotta reveal to me. And then sometimes I think it's expectation I have of God for when that person comes. And I don't know, maybe I can't say I expect too much from God, but I'm just expecting God to come in one way, and He's trying to come in some other way. I'm not giving him the opportunity to either. You know, so those are some things that I really, as far as struggle, I guess you could say that's a struggle for me right now where I'm at. You know,
Yeah.
seeing all my other friends' relationships still being seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, just some words of encouragement, man. Just continue to seek Christ in everything that you do. You know, continue to stay in your word. You said that you have the right people around you, so continue to have those accountabilities partners that you can talk to and people that you can run to whenever you have something on your mind, when you have something that you want to talk about, so they can give you that direction. You know, I was talking with a friend the other day about, a female that was in our church, 17 years old. He had asked her a question. He was like, "Hey, um, how was you and your boyfriend doing?" And she said, "We're not together anymore." She said, "But I'm 5 months pregnant." At 17 years old. That's a tough situation because, like you said, a lot of times women don't. They act like sometimes they're not sure, like what a good man is, and we really have to try hard to. It's not really hard to be honest, because there are so many men that are corrupt, and there are so many men who are not really living a holy life. So sometimes it's easy for us to set ourselves set ourselves aside from the other men that are out there that are not holy. Christ said to be in the world but not of the world. So just continue just to ask those questions and pray to God, and He'll always give you the answers. Like I said, it may not come immediately, but he'll come right when you need him. So
Always, He's an on-time God. That's one thing I do know. He don't give us more than we can't handle. And so I know, all that I'm going through, the fact that I just not ready right now. So those are things that I contemplate. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like a lot of females, they just, I guess I'm my age bracket, just aren't ready to be like, I want to be in that committed relationship and settle down.
hmm
So that's that's that. But God keeps me busy where it's easy, where I'm not really distracted by it as much. It's something that still comes up for me.
yeah, most definitely. Well, you're definitely young, man. You're young, so you got a lot of living to do. So you can still keep your options open, and definitely when you find a woman that's on the same page as you'll know that it's right. So a little bit more about the music tip, man. Like you were saying, you just released a mixtape, man. What's the concept, or what's the idea around the new mixtape that you dropped? I know we posted it on the website last week. I listened to a couple tracks, man. It really sounded good. I like your flow. I like your style. So tell me a little bit about the mixtape.
To be honest, it went through a process. We were supposed to release a project called Happy Anniversary first. Originally it was supposed to be what to do. We changed it to Happy Anniversary. Then we changed it back to what to do. But the reason we changed it was we wanted to make it where it was just, we did 10 different industry beats, one original beat, and it was just, flows. Like I just got on them and, did a couple flows. And, a couple songs I, revamped totally. Some I just said, all right, I'm going to go in here and, throw one verse on here and, leave it alone. But concept of it was, I'm sure you put the video up there, but back in like '09, around '09, I was in the studio, and the producer, he had recorded me, mixing up and stuff. So it made me, look real bad, and a lot of my surrounding area had seen this, and so nobody, a lot of people for a while couldn't take me serious in my hometown, which didn't really bother me. It bothered me to an extent, but it didn't really bother me because at that time I was doing stuff in the secular, arena that people in my hometown didn't really know about.
So what happened? What was it exactly? The video?
It was it was called What Not to Do in the Studio.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, so that was the hurt because I think I was high at the time in the studio. I just got off some community service for court stuff I had to do. It was just a whole bad day altogether, and I really wanted to go in there. I wanted to go and try and do something totally different than what was going on. They looked at it and they was like, "Oh, you trying to come into the song?" I'm like, "Ah, I just want to come in here like make a hook, something, and move on, do something later, write to it or whatever." But a lot of people didn't, know the background story to it and everything. So I'm just like a fool, for like 7 minutes of video. So what I decided was, really through that though, I really learned that through that time I wasn't really, comfortable in my own skin, comfortable with myself. And so God really allowed me to come in and, through what to do is just He is teaching me how to be me, be comfortable with me, be comfortable with who God created me to be. And, allowing, anybody who's willing to eat from what I got to say, be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you who you cannot be, who you can be, what you can do, what you can't do. Because at the end of the day, we're God's creation. So, God made us all for a purpose and a reason, and it's just figuring out what God's purpose and reason is. Once God tells you, not to worry about what anybody else has to say. So that was the kind of what to do. Really just being that example of, hey, I'm able to be myself. Because like I said, it's in the church. When you're through high school and stuff, you kind of look at the cool thing to do, I guess. But I realized God's not boring. God doesn't have a problem with us being cool. He doesn't have a problem with nothing. So it was, being able to be comfortable in that because people can tell when you're not being you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much you try and fake it or, how good you try and make it seem to do, how good of a job you are at it, people can always tell. Somebody's always going to be able to say, and that's not who you really are. The closer someone gets to you, the more they know that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of person I am, I'm an open book, so people always know, hey man, this is not you. That's not you. Come on. You supposed to be doing something totally different. And so that, that was the whole concept behind what to do. Just allow, be yourself. And so allowing God to, as He elevates me, continues to elevate me in ministry, being that example. Because like I said, I was a hard kid. I couldn't learn from, doing things or looking at somebody else's experiences and then learning. I had to really learn on my own. So I want to be able to be an example for everybody who, is out there that feels, oh, I got to go out there and learn on my own. All the youth that are under me that, look and say, oh, I got to go out there and I have to do it for myself. Nobody can't really tell me nothing. Be able to say, hey, yo, I've been in that same position. And yeah, I know you might not want to, listen to your mother or your uncle or, your granddaddy or your grandma. But hey, I'm right around your age still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not no older than you. I'd have been right in the same place you've been in. Some of the struggles you struggle with, they're still trying to take me to this day. But there's nothing cooler than being who you're supposed to be, who God has created you to be. So that was the whole concept about what to do. I feel like, with that project, there's a lot of truth in there, but at the same time, it is a project where they have no choice but I feel to compare me to artists that they know how they say are great artists, are good artists, where it also, where you have no choice but the comparison factor. Oh, he got on, these people's songs that we feel are, secondly good or great. Well, you can be good and great for God too,
Mm-hmm.
and let them see that as well. So.
Cool. We're definitely using yourself as a vessel and showing the youth that, hey, I'm around the same age as you. I can relate to you because I've gone through the same thing that you're going through, and I've been through it. And just showing yourself as being equal to them. Not putting yourself on a pedestal or anything of that nature. So I see the direction of your ministry and where you're headed with it, which is awesome. Are there any Christian hip hop artists that you actually look up to in the business? Who do you really like to listen to? Where do your inspiration come from?
Man, could be mentored by any, two people right now, as Lecrae and Bizzle. Just the way I'm not gonna lie right now, I've been on, Bizzle real heavy. Like when I was first coming in, it was Lecrae because I was, still in that party vibe. You know, I liked, I liked his beats and everything. But as I really started, Bizzle started to come around. I listen to Bizzle. Um, it is his clever. He's so clever. The way he presents his stories, you know, I just really been able to, feel I a lot from Bizzle though. Those are, as far as then I like Keith Jones a lot. DJ had it. Um, those are just decent ones. Ty Tripp, that old Ty Tripp stuff.
You said the old Ty Tribbett.
I'm not gonna lie. I was disappointed with the new album at Fresh. I was kind of disappointed with it. Some of the songs were good, but I was just like, man, where's my old Ty Tribbett at?
Yeah,
So,
I understand exactly what you're saying. When I heard it, I was like, "What in the world is he doing? This sound like a whole bunch of funeral music."
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he took a different direction with that one. So it wasn't as good as his past work. But hey, we all experiment at times and try different things. So that's why I just say he was experimenting.
His life right now, with situations and stuff like that. So I had to realize that all plays a factor. It just really kind of showed where he was at spiritually. So
Yeah, I think what most people probably know the situation and what he went through. So he was trying to clear the air, and like I said, that's probably why it sounded like a funeral. Because all the stuff that he was dealing with and had bottled up, he was trying to kill that. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the next one that he comes out will sound nothing like his last album.
yeah.
But that's cool, man. I guess what else do you have planned for the future, man? Any other albums coming out? I know you just dropped the mixtape. Or you
Well,
plan on doing an album?
um, I'm not gonna lie. Me, when I release an album, it has to be to a whole nother level from what you hear on a mixtape. Which you hear even when I start to release my singles. This next project that's coming out, I'm not gonna make it an album, even though it's all original music. Um, right now, I don't feel that I'm ready to release an album.
Uh huh.
I feel like there's certain areas I can still grow in, and when the album comes out, I want it. I'm not. I want to be able to release something that's gonna be classic. You know, I tell people like this, like son, I just the other day, it was like, my brother told me the other day, as a Christian entertainer, or as a Christian artist, not to worry about entertainment. Well, I beg to differ. I'm gonna let my flow entertain them, but by the words that I speak, I hope it begins to interchange it. So I'm not focused on the entertainment factor. I hope that my flow does entertain people because that's what's gonna hook them and draw them in. But I really want to be able to, have something that's classic. That to me, a classic album is when you listen to something, and every song, you can picture yourself in that predicament, even if you've never been in that predicament before. You can say, you know what, man, this predicament here, I can feel for this person. You want to just start praying for that person, whoever it is that's going through that moment, even if it's not you. To me, that's classic because that's really going to affect lives. Where I'm at right now, I feel like sometimes when I listen to my music, even though I portray my stories well, I do a good job, I still sometimes feel like it's a lot of I hear I too much.
Hmm.
Like, just I'm coming from my perspective and not looking at other people's perspective. So that's one area I feel I have to grow in, is looking from, this perspective of, man, how does this girl feel in this situation here? Or how does mom in the wheelchair feel that she's in that wheelchair? She might be 75. She doesn't want to be in that wheelchair, How do I portray that, though, into something that we can all relate to? It grows, but it helps everybody in that situation, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that type of growth I know time and stuff, but right now, as far as an album, I feel like there's just a certain level I want to be when I release an album. I think anything worthwhile, it takes time. And so, right now, coming out, I feel I want to do something different. And so, what I want to be able to do is not going to be a mixtape. I kind of made up my own name for it. We're going to call it a single tape. And I feel every song that's going to be on that project is worthy of being a single. That can deserve airplay, that deserves a video, deserves the single treatment. And so
that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. We actually are pretty much done that project though. We got a couple more songs, but I feel God has blessed me with the ability to be able to make good music. But like I said, I want to be able to get past that to making good music. Because good music only gets you so far. But I want to be able to make great music that's going to impact a generation. And so that's where my focus is now, is making great music. Because good music is one thing, great music is a whole nother. So that, like I said, next project, we're not sure on the title. It's supposed to be Happy Anniversary, but that's subject to change. So that's actually, we're looking at maybe a month or two out for that one. So y'all should be hearing the single for that soon. It's supposed to be called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's gonna be the single off that project. And we've been getting good reviews from that song. So we just gotta go put some finishing touches on everything, and that project is practically done.
All right, well, make sure you send it to us whenever you have it finished, mixed and mastered, send it to us so we can blast it out for you.
Oh, definitely.
All right, man. Well, it's definitely been a pleasure talking to you. Like I said, your head is on your shoulders, your focus. Just keep praying to Christ, for that direction in every aspect of your life, for the music aspect and from the personal side as well. We all know that He will never leave us or forsake us, man. So if you keep your head on your shoulder, man, your future is bright. Like I said, I've heard some of the music, and you definitely have the talent, So just keep working at it, as you said, craft it. Because a lot of artists, they want to rush and they want to get music out quick and fast. So by you really saying that you want to take your time, that shows where your head is at and what you're really trying to produce. You're trying to produce a good body of work, and it's really the ministry aspect that you're looking into, not just putting out music saying, hey, I'm Mark B, listen to me, I can rap, you know what I mean? So your head is in the right place, man. I'm pushing for you. We're going to support you. If you need to send any music out, send it to us, your press releases, your videos, whatever, man, and I'm definitely going to support you. I look forward to hearing more from you. Is there anything else, any final words that you want to say to our listeners, anything you want to get off your chest, anything you want them to know about you that we didn't cover? Any final words?
I want to shout out my pastor, that's Kevin Tuck, the White House. He's been good to me, and he encourages me in what I do, my church family. Then I want to, my team, FM, Faithful Music. It's Faithful with 2 L's, but what's it called? We have got a couple other projects that are works as well. We got female artist Taylor Cherie. Then we have the Staley Styles, and then my brother Sofa Jai Evangelize. So, we got a very eclectic team, something for everybody. We got, like I said, with our little sister Kayla, she really handles that whole, female aspect, but then, she's only 14, so she's young. Style. He's really in tune, with that hip hop. 25 at 25 crowd, in the street, all his. I can't old head. You know what I mean?
You're 25 and an old head now.
Yeah, it's not old head. I'm only 21, so it's not old head. But and then you know, my boy for Ja, he really speaks to, you know, that older crowd, you know, um, you know, that working family man, you know, family woman, you know, like his music is really geared towards them. So, you know, be on the lookout for more of that. You know, y'all can tune in to fmtunein.com, and you can really, you know, get all the updates and everything there. And like you said earlier, you know, just want to touch on what you said about the whole time thing and taking my time. And that aspect, I don't want anybody to ever feel like, well, the reason that I switched to Christian rap is because I couldn't make it in secular. You know, that's, you know, I'm addressing my songs I'm playing right now. I never want anybody to think, oh, he switched because he couldn't make it as a secular artist. And so that's a lot of why I strive to be, you know, when I feel God doesn't want, you know, half. He wants the best. He wants the best of the best. So at the end of the day, I'll be able to give my best to God. And that's what I strive to make good music, to make great music. Because I feel that He's giving me, and there's greatness inside of me, but greatness in all of us. And if this is what He has for me to do, there's no reason that, you know, I can't be, you know, compared to great of all time and say that, you know, I did it, but I did it in the name of Jesus. You know, but to be able to be compared to a Pac or a Biggie, but to at the end of the day say, yeah, but I did it in the name of Jesus. And that's my goal, you know, for them to be able to say, hey, you know, he's on a Nas level, he's on a Jay-Z level, he's on a Drake or a J. Cole level, but he did it in the name of Jesus, you know, because they might look at me as great, but at the end of the day, the Lord has to go to God, you know. So that's why, you know, I strive hard to make great music, make good music, because I did come from a secular background, and like I said, I couldn't make it secular, but the fact is that I just love God back. He loved me, and since He loved me first, I decided that what He gave me, I'm gonna dedicate it back to Him.
Yeah, and the thing is too, man, a lot of Christian rappers came from the secular industry, so that's nothing new in this business. You know, it happens. You know, we all go astray, and we'll get that, you know, that certain realization, or we get that conviction, and we come to Christ, and we want to give our talents to God. So that happens a lot in this industry, and a lot of people outside of the Christian world, they think it's easier to get on being a Christian artist, and that's not really true. You know, as a Christian rap artist, you don't get the promotion. You know, you don't get the radio spins. You don't get your videos on television. You know, so you have to. A lot of times you're getting played on internet radio when you can find somebody who play you on the internet radio station. So you got to work 10 times as hard. So it's not easy, and that's just a misconception that a lot of people have about Christian rap. You know, it's totally different. And like I said, if your heart is in the right place, you're going to bear the right fruit, man. You judge a person by the fruit, you know. A pure person going to show themselves pure, and the wicked will show themselves wicked, man. It says that in the Bible. So it'll all will pan out in the end if, you know, your heart in the right place, and it sounds like it is. Well, again, man, like I said, man, it was it was my pleasure talking to you, man. I had a good conversation with you. And like I said, just keep us posted, man, on everything that you have going on. You know, we look forward to hearing more music from you.
All right, definitely.
All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and
FM tune in. You know, I gotta shout that out. FM tune in, all, you know, all the music family. You know, that's what it is. You now are to the faithful music family. You know, once you join the board, what we doing, you're now part of FM. You know, so if you hear the FM tune in, we talking to you.
all right, most def. Well, I'll add that on the interview on the site.